Well, despite not showing up for the first GOP debate and getting his mugshot taken, an organization that averages all the major polls still has former President Donald Trump up around 40 points nationally in the race for the Republican nomination.
But as Joe St. George explains, when the general election comes more into focus, something unique in 2024 appears to be happening. An historically low number of actual swing states.
With election coverage, we can buy fancy touchscreens and build amazing graphics. But at the end of the day, elections are about coloring in a map. Some states have been colored red for years, others blue for decades. But in every election, there are toss-up states colored purple or yellow to signal that they can go any party's way. But something seems to be happening in our country's politics. Fewer states being classified by experts as being true toss-ups. In fact, 2024 may have the fewest toss-up states in recent political history.
A lot of this is pretty set in stone.
Amy Walter has been attempting to predict elections for more than 25 years. She runs the nonpartisan Cook Political Report, which analyzes races from coast to coast. Recently, she had an observation. In 1995, the Cook Political Report listed 12 states as toss-ups. Even California was included. Nearly 30 years later, that same report is for now only listing these 4 states as true toss-ups going into 2024: Georgia, Arizona, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin.
If you go back in the entirety of pretty much the 20th century, we've never had a map as a determinative as this electoral map is today.
Take, for instance, Florida. For years, many analysts would start coloring it yellow without a second thought. This presidential election, it begins as a soft shade of red after voting for Republicans for president and for governor for multiple election cycles. The same is true for Ohio. Democrats, meanwhile, in recent years have gained ground in states like Virginia, Michigan, and Colorado. Those states begin the 2024 campaign colored a light shade of blue.
We have become a much more polarized country where people have put on their red and blue jerseys and they don't take them off.
If you live in a swing state, this all means that the number of commercials, door knocks, and phone calls will be greater than they have been in recent elections. And if your state has lost swing state status, don't expect as many presidential visits. Of course, Democrats and Republicans will attempt to prove D.C. analysts wrong and create more toss-up states between now and this time next year, especially in places where there are more competitive congressional races.
The campaigns are spending their money in fewer places.
Joe St. George, Scripps News, Washington.